I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to episode number 73 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe. How are you?
I'm okay, man. How you doing?
I'm quite alright. I had some refreshments once again, but I feel quite good, to be honest.
You were out last night, were you?
Yeah. First game night, and then I joined some other people for a beer or two, and it took me a while to get home, so I was quite sober when I finally arrived, so I feel fine. How about you?
For 3 hours.
How was your night?
Yeah, no, not as, well, you know, I went out, but I didn't, I wasn't as refreshed as I was last time, so that's good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved how refreshed has become part of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast vocabulary.
Yeah, if people out there are worried about us, don't be.
Well, we always record this on the weekend, so it's the best time to be, you know, refreshed. Yeah.
But but it sounds like we're kind of, refreshed maybe too many times.
Well, we're students. I think it's expected of us. I think people would be worried if we just sat at home drinking juice.
Right. We're doing it to sort of blend in, you know. We want to stay relevant, stay cool.
Peer pressure, yeah.
Right. How was
next week?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Next week.
I was just gonna say next week, and we're gonna try some ecstasy just to fit
in. Yeah, stay tuned for that. How was your week in terms of watching things? Because I think we've talked about this in private, maybe even on the record, that this might be a pretty stacked episode for once again.
Definitely, yeah. I think I might have even forgot one or two things, or there's one thing that I'm gonna save for next week, maybe. Because there's just so many things. One that we've seen together, and yeah.
Okay.
How about you? I mean, I think you have quite a bit of stuff as well.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't know why you think I would. I have. I have seen 3 things, and I'm going to save one thing because I might as well mention this now. We recently returned to the sneak preview, and the first movie that I saw was a movie that was that won't be released in cinemas here till the end of August. So I'm not going to talk about that now and I'll tell you all to go out and watch it because I'll do that once that movie is actually going to be out. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 things to talk about. I don't know. How many do you have? Enough. Like 6?
3, which is still a lot.
But I'm confused. What you're going to save for next week, because that's one of the 2 things I would talk about. No, surely.
No. Something that I saw on YouTube, which blew me away in a way. But I think I want to talk about this when there's more time, and I think there are just so many other things that we have to get to.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make this episode over an hour long.
I just thought you said the one thing you're going to save for next week was something we saw together. I misunderstood.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Okay.
The one thing that we saw together is going to make an appearance here. I don't know where it's going to rank for you.
Where it's going to rank? Because there's going to be another top 10 list?
Yeah.
Snap out of it, dude. How refreshed are you? We'll get to it. I don't even know who starts.
I mentioned this before we started. I've done the minimum effort of preparing for this week's episode, which is by checking who's starting this week.
It's fantastic. I love it.
And I forgot. I think it's me. No, sorry, it's you. It's definitely you. Because it was silent scares and frightened families on our last episode where we talked about the Quiet Place Part 2.
Right.
So,
and you're right. So it's me this week. Right. But before we dive into this, do we want to do like a quick recap of the last episode? Just like, are you happy with how it turned out? Did you receive any feedback for the Fincher special?
Not at all.
Right. But you're not happy, or you didn't receive feedback?
I didn't receive feedback, but then again, I haven't seen that many people lately that have listened to the podcast. But I'm quite happy with it. It was quite refreshing, to overuse the word.
Yeah.
To for once in a long time to just watch 2 things and not 20 for a special, which made it just a bit more relaxing. And yeah, I'm also just thankful that you edited that episode because it wasn't quite a stressful week for both of us.
Yeah. I mean, but we got it done. We got it done. I actually
How about you?
Yeah, I spent the last week like consuming every Fincher interview I could find again. I should have maybe done that before we recorded it, but I just, recording the special really put me back into it, and I've sort of now been revisiting like documentaries about the Social Network and interviews about, like all of those things, and I'm just like falling in love with the guy in the movies all over again. Not that I ever fell out of him, but fell out of love, you know what I mean?
Are there like full-fledged documentaries about that movie, or just like 10-minute clips of behind-the-scenes stuff?
No, there is a great documentary about the Social Network, which is like called How Could They Ever Make a Movie About Facebook or something like that.
Okay.
Might not be right. But they recently uploaded that to YouTube too. I found that like years and years ago on like Vimeo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not quite sure if this is like a Blu-ray special. I think it is. But they all end up on YouTube anyway. So, and that's like, it's perfect. I've seen it multiple times, but it's like an hour and a half of like how they made the Facebook movie, which is great.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, I bet you've also listened to like the director's commentary and everything with that movie, right?
Yes. Well, with about every Fincher movie, yes.
Of course.
There's this great one last thing about this, because
please.
That's right. That fits with what I've just been saying, that I've just been diving back into the Social Network and Fincher movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's this great like trivia site. I think it's Sporcle.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm like really bored and I want to sort of freshen up on my Social Network trivia, I play a couple of games on that, because they actually have like dedicated Social Network trivia.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one great thing that I hadn't seen before, where it's like the confrontation scene at the end,
mm-hmm.
where Eduardo confronts Zuckerberg. Or I should say Mark, because of first name, last name. And the trivia game is basically you have to put down all the words of the dialogue. It tells you basically who speaks.
Okay.
And you see the amount of words every person speaks.
Yeah.
And you have 20 minutes time to find all 221 words. And you can type the word in, and if you type in like the, it shows up all the thus in the. That's a great sentence.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
that's
you type in
cool.
one word, and then they all show up where they are in the dialogue.
That is cool. I think that would be like great for a movie like what's it called? Not Man of Honor. A Few Good Men.
Why A Few Good Men?
I know it's like a court case. There's a lot of like arguing, and I feel like it would be one of those. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering why you bring it up.
I know I had to think about a movie a lot lately. I don't know why, but it feels like the kind of movie where you have like these great quotable scenes. I've heard so many times, like you can't handle the truth and shit like that.
Right. I mean, The Social Network is the only movie I think where I'm doing well with that trivia game. And it was nice because that confrontation scene I really know inside and out.
Crazy, yeah.
And I managed to get all but 3 words in time. And I was sitting in front of the fucking thing, and I was like, I know 2 of the words. And I kept typing in I, right? Because I knew it was I and is. Those are the 2 words. And I was like, why don't they accept it? I know it is I and is. And in the end, it was I'll and was. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, my bad.
So it doesn't even tell you like the amount of letters each word has.
Nothing. No,
right,
no.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's great. I mean, it's a fantastic scene. But anyway, I digress. We have a lot to talk about, so please tell everyone how this regular episode works, and then let's dive into it.
Yeah, welcome back. It's nice to have you here. Here we talk about the best thing that we've seen all week. Anything from a movie to a TV show to a YouTube video even. And yeah, as always, we don't know which each other's picks are going to be, but it's always something fairly new, something that came out in the last 6 months or so. And now, once again, we've been able to watch some things that came out in the cinema. So those might make an appearance as well. And yeah, with that being said, you have 1 honorable, right?
Yes.
And 1 pick.
I think you should start with the third thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
I think so.
Because my honorable mention for this week is the Underground Railroad.
I knew it. I was waiting for it, yeah.
The show that I've started watching about 3 weeks ago or more. Because it's got like 8 episodes with about an hour each. Some more, some less. And it's a show by Barry Jenkins, a now very much acclaimed director who's done, for example, Moonlight.
Right. And
this show is a bit of a fictional take on the whole Underground Railroad stories of this network that existed to help slaves escape their slavery and make it up to the north or Canada, where they can live a free life. And in this show, it's taken quite literally. There's an actual underground railroad in this show that people are trying to find.
Right.
And it's an interesting story. It's quite weird, especially like the first couple of episodes, especially one of the early episodes, felt like Get Out from like the feeling and very much from the story of that episode. It feels kind of weird, kind of off. It feels kind of mixed, like a bit of a modern take mixed with, well, a story from the 19th century. And yeah, I think the performances are great. Not that many actors that I knew, but you got, for example, Joel Edgerton in a big role as a slave hunter.
Yeah.
But the leading actress who I really liked in this show, I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher her name, Tuso Mdebu.
I can't help you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. I didn't really know her before that, but I think her performance is really fucking good in this, playing the protagonist, Cora, who tries to escape slavery. And pretty much every episode is kind of set in a different state on her track to freedom and being chased by various people.
Right.
And yeah, it's a cool show. It's kind of weird. And it always kind of threw me off was, it's the end of each episode, the credits are a very modern song. For example, one episode at the end, you got Childish Gambino singing "This Is America."
Oh, wow. Okay.
In a Western setting, which just threw me off so much. I mean, I get it. It's kind of this mixture of two things. And thematically, it kind of fits in.
Right.
I'm just not a huge fan of that.
I understand that, yeah.
But yeah, I thought the story was so interesting. But yeah, it threw me also off just that it was such a fictional take on it, because I wasn't expecting an actual underground railroad, because that made like no sense to me. It's like it would be impossible to do. But you kind of get used to it. And yeah, it does kind of tell you a very real story of a real struggle. And it's extremely graphic in like violence and abuse and shit like that.
Right. I'm still interested with the Get Out reference. Why? Why Get Out?
I don't want to spoil it too much, but in a very early episode, in the second episode, I think, of third, they come to a town. Just at first, they feel like it's they're kind of free. You know, they accept black people. There's not as much oppression and as they were used to in Georgia on the plantation where they came from, and then they kind of notice that people are weird and giving them strange things, and then some people like screaming out, "They took my baby," and stuff like that. And you kind of feel like, okay, there's a bit of a conspiracy going on in this town, that the white people there are kind of doing shady shit that nobody talks about.
Right.
Which is, it felt like a horror movie all of a sudden. It felt like the show needed a couple of episodes to kind of find its groove, and I thought the later episodes were way better than the early ones.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think you can give it a try. I'm not sure if it's a limited show, to be honest. It feels like one.
I think so.
But it doesn't say it outright, and it says like the show is from 2021 to, and then nothing. So I don't know if there's going to be a second season. It's got a pretty final end, but I guess they could put out more if they wanted to.
I'd be very surprised if a director of Barry Jenkins, help me out with the word, status, if he goes back. I think he has other plans, you know what I mean?
Sure. Maybe, I guess somebody else could take over.
Sure.
I don't know.
Where would you rank this in his filmography now? Because you've seen a couple of his things now.
Help me out. What else did he do?
Well, If Beale Street Could Talk.
Of course, yeah.
Moonlight. And now this one, right? I don't think I've seen anything else. I mean, I haven't seen Underground Railroad, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be on the lowest rank because I really like Moonlight. I like Beale Street. If Beale Streets could talk,
Right.
I guess I just wasn't ready for that kind of show.
He did something else called Melancholy or something. That was his first movie. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't. No.
I think so. I'm looking up, but sorry, go on.
I just wanted to say, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the story, I mean, in every single one of his movies, the performances are fucking great. You gotta say that. And especially with a lot of actors that I had never heard of before. With, of course, this show, or with Moonlight, like the main actor. Never saw him before, but he was fucking great. I'm not sure if I would like outright recommend this show, but I think it's worth a watch if you're into that. But I gotta warn you, I think it's better to kind of stick it out because the first couple of episodes feel kind of off. In my opinion,
it feels like a drag.
Yeah, it just feels like I don't know what they want it to be. You know, if it's now going to be like a whole fantasy story or more of a serious take on the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been hesitant to watch this just because I feel like, as I just said, I feel like it might be. You might need some commitment to actually stick it out.
Yeah.
And it's not like an easy watch by any means. But yeah, I don't know. I might get around to it someday. I'm not really planning to do so anytime soon. I don't know why. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
I mean, there's an actor in there who we've talked about before.
Kevin
He's the
Spacey?
guy from 8th grade and some other things. In what context did we talk about him?
I know what you mean.
End of the World? No, News of the World. I'm sorry.
Right, and he was in Woman in the Window.
Right, exactly.
I forgot his name now.
He's in this too, and yeah, I mean, it seems to be his year. He's doing a lot of stuff, and he seems like a cool actor, I think.
Yeah, I saw him in something recently too. I think a trailer for something. What was his name again?
Oh, I forgot. Let me look it up. I mean, he always plays kind of creeps, even in this show.
Yeah. Yeah. He was also in that Zach Woods film that you talked about, right? The short film with Will Ferrell.
Right, yeah. Where he plays the son, the wrestler.
Right.
You look it up.
Cool. It's Woman in the Window, and then it's got to be one of the first build. Or Fred Heckinger.
Yep, that's him.
I saw him in... Don't know what I saw him in recently, like some sort of trailer for something. But you're right, he's all over the place these days, yeah.
And you also got on the show William Jackson Harper, who was in Midsommar, for example.
Okay, who is he?
The guy who wants to
yeah.
write this paper.
I remember.
The guys there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of cool in this show as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect to watch this show. I started a couple of weeks back when I needed something to watch, and then I didn't finish in time.
Yeah,
so I watched
Prime,
now.
Right.
Yeah, in one. Now I finished it in a week where I got the most things to talk about. So I guess it didn't stand a chance, but yeah, it's an okay show. It's on Amazon Prime. You can check it out for free if you got a subscription.
Right.
Yeah. So moving on from that, what is your honorable mention? Because I think we watched the same two things now.
Yes.
Because I told you the one thing that we didn't see together. Yeah.
I think we're gonna. I think my honorable is your pick, and the other way around.
Yeah, it could be.
I think it's gonna be very. So if it's my pick first, I think I'm just gonna throw out the pick, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So my pick of the week, the best thing I've seen this week is The Mauritanian.
Fair
right?
Enough.
We're right?
Yeah.
We're on. Okay.
Yeah, it's my honorable mention, but I struggled to pick the other one. I thought both of them were great.
Yeah. Well, The Mauritanian is a movie that's been out in the States once again for what feels like an eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to see this in the sneak preview last week, but it's out now. By the time you're listening to the show, you can run out to cinemas and see this movie. And it's yeah, I actually didn't really know what it was about. I just knew that I wanted to watch this, so I was very excited when it showed in the sneak preview. And it stars Jodie Foster and Shailene Woodley, Benedict Cumberbatch, and the I would say the main actor Tahar Rahim.
Yeah.
And the whole time I watched the movie, I was like, I know this face. And it was not until right now, before we started recording, that I looked through his IMDb. He was, for example, were you in that sneak in The Kindness of Strangers? Do you remember that movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Zoe Kazan.
Yeah, he was the guy who ran the restaurant and who let her hit under the table.
Yeah, with the piano.
Right.
Yeah.
That's that guy. I did not realize that until just
Yeah,
now.
it was a very forgettable movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a very strange one. But the Mauritanian, it tells the story about, it's a real story, and we got the appropriate cheer for it being a true story in the sneak preview, because for years and years, it's been a running gag that whenever it's, because the movie always starts off with like, this is based on a true story. And I don't know why this has become a running gag, but that's just how it is. People clapped when that happens. And it tells the story about a guy who got arrested after 9/11 because he seemingly was involved in that. And he was supposedly the guy who recruited a lot of people for that horrific event. And I don't know if this is a known story. I'm ignorant on these things. I did not know the story. And so I don't really want to, give away what, obviously I don't want to give away what happens and if this guy was involved or not. But it's basically telling the story of him being in Guantanamo Bay and Jodie Foster sort of being also a real life character, obviously, and trying to prove his innocence and struggling to do so. I mean, yeah. I don't. You're the plot guy. Did I miss anything?
Am I? No, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's a lot about exposing also the conditions in Guantanamo Bay and about the question: is he guilty or not? And even if he is, doesn't he deserve a fair trial?
Right.
Because it was never actually proven.
Right. They never actually brought charges. Right. He was there for a very long time, and he actually didn't really. I mean, yeah. I'm bad with descriptions. Let's just run a little clip of the trailer, right? I mean, that's just a good idea of what it's about. So here's a clip from the Mauritanian.
I'm Nancy Hollander. This is my associate. We wish to represent you.
We are seeking the death penalty, but if we miss something, this guy goes home. Let's get to it.
Call this number. Speak to my mother. Tell her, I don't know, something nice.
The U.S. government is holding upwards of 700 prisoners in Guantanamo. Since when did we start locking people up without a trial in this country?
That's a lot of case files.
The prosecution won't show us the evidence they have against you. It's all redacted.
You got a problem, take it up with the government.
All my time here, I've been told you are guilty. Not for something that I have done, but because of suspicions and associations. I am innocent.
He has been interrogated. He has been held against his will for 6 years without a single charge being laid against him.
Doesn't it bother you at all working for someone like this?
I'm not just defending him. I'm defending the rule of law.
You haven't seen what I've seen.
Right. So what did you think of Benedict Cumberbatch's accent?
I thought it was quite alright. I mean, I've heard him with quite a few American accents by now. For example, in August Osage County, he's got a pretty thick Southern accent as well.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me that much. At least, as the further a movie went on, the more I ignored it. But yeah, in the first moment where he brought out that really thick Southern drawl,
such a deep voice as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty deep voice.
He does.
Right?
He does.
Yeah. It was alright. It didn't bother me that much. How about you? I mean,
actually,
you brought it up.
No, because I remember him, for example, in Black Rain. Was that? No, not Black Rain. Was that Black Mass? Sorry, Black Mass. He had a very thick accent in that too.
Ah, right. That's the police detective. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have never bought any of his accents. And until now, I actually thought he did a great job with the Mauritanian. I don't know why, but I bought it from the very get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great voice.
He plays more of a simple character, I guess, than in Black Mass, where he's like this classic, cool cop who's going to take on the mafia, right? Isn't that his role? It's been such a long time.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But no, I think he did a great job. I mean, he does a lot of accents. I mean, there are not that many British movies coming out with him lately, as far as I'm aware.
He's made the jump to the... He's close to being an A-lister. Gotta be.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
Of course. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you heard him in Sherlock or Imitation Game, it's funny to see that change, but
right.
I think he does a good job. I think the accent doesn't seem too weird. It's just trying to, remind yourself, okay, he's an actor. He's not British in this movie. He's American.
Right.
But
and I like this character too. Obviously, also based on I don't need to say this the whole time, but I thought, you know,
I'm always interested because they always take a whole lot of creative freedom with those projects, and how much of his character was actually like him, or if they just made him like that to make him a bit more likable.
Yeah, I would hope they stay true to his character, but
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the Cumberbatch is he's an important part. He's sort of the guy who wants to prosecute the main guy. What was his name? Mohamedou.
What was his last name?
Slahi. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Mohamedou Slahi. But he's sort of the guy. He lost someone during 9/11, and he wants to make sure that the people who were to blame for that got their their punishment. And I mean, I liked Jodie Foster. I mean, we recently talked about her in Panic Room, which was fun to sort of see her on a big screen again, like a couple of days later. I like her. I
like
never.
her too.
Yeah, you do? Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I don't
really
find.
do,
I can't. Because I recently talked about this with another friend too, and he said he's not the biggest Jodie Foster fan. I like Jodie Foster. I
think she hasn't done a lot lately. Right. I think she's kind of stepped back from the limelight since her biggest days back when Signs of the Lambs, etc. came out.
Well, she's directing now, isn't she, as well?
Yeah, there's a couple of things she directed, right? I don't think I've seen any of them though. Have you?
Oh, for sure. You've seen Money Monster. You've seen.
Of course, Money Monster was directed by her.
Yeah,
I forgot. For some reason, I thought it was directed by Clooney, but no.
No, I see. I'm looking through her IMDb right now, and I thought she directed something else I saw, but apparently not. She directed an episode of House of Cards.
Back with Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. But no, I was also ignorant. I thought she directed The Mauritanian, which was not the case because it's directed by Kevin MacDonald, who's a guy that you are a fan of, and you might not know this because that's the guy who did The Last King of Scotland.
Yeah, I looked him up before we started. He's done one film with Saoirse Ronan, Tom Holland, and Adam McKay. No, not Adam McKay, something McKay. From 1917 also. What's his name?
Oh, George McKay?
George McKay. I thought it looked kind of interesting. And he does seem to be kind of a cool director, yeah. I haven't paid that much attention to him, but I very much enjoyed The Last King of Scotland, especially. I think I talked about this on the last special. I very much liked, still like Forrest Whitaker. So
right. Who was in Panic Room with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
No, and he did also direct State of Play, which I've talked about on the Rachel McAdams special. I like that movie.
Right, yeah.
But the star of the show is the main guy, I think, Tahar Rahim. And we talked about this after we saw it. I think, what was it? Foster won a Globe for this, and he was nominated, but that was it. So no Academy Award nominations, but she actually won, which surprised me, and he was nominated. And he is great, and especially towards the later scenes, towards the very end too, where he's giving a longer speech towards the end. You know what I mean? I thought it was very, very well done and touching.
Yeah,
and,
I gotta imagine those scenes filmed at Guantanamo Bay or on the set.
Yeah,
it must have been really fucking tough because everybody knows about Guantanamo Bay and the methods that were used there, or maybe are still used there actually. And those scenes, I mean, of course, it's a set. People yell cut, the actors talk to each other, make sure everybody's okay. Maybe they laugh between takes, but it's still gotta be so emotionally and physically draining to do those scenes, to reenact some of that abuse. Must be really fucking tough.
100%. And a movie that's, I mean, obviously, Zero Dark 30 is a movie that deals with similar subject matters, but a movie that I saw a couple of years ago, which is called The Report with Adam Driver, is really like a companion piece to The Mauritanian. So if you want to delve even deeper into that horrific world, I can recommend that movie as well, The Report, that sort of deals with the interrogation methods of the CIA post 9/11 too.
I think it's an Amazon Prime original.
Even, yeah. You're right. You can
still
check
it out. Yeah, it's like over 2 hours long, and it seems like a tough movie.
It's good, man, and it's It's actually 1 hour 59. So
okay.
There you go. It's a breeze. It's a breeze.
I think it was even on your best of the year list, or maybe only as an honorable mention back in the day.
A couple of years ago, yeah. Could be.
I think so.
It's Adam Driver in a very, very subdued role, and I think he's a great actor.
Nice.
I like that movie. I like these investigation. I like these interrogation movies.
Love those torture scenes.
Yeah, I love it, man. But the Mauritanian, it didn't blow me away. I gotta be honest here. I thought it was just a good movie, and it was nice to be back in the sneak and sort of seeing good things, because a couple of weeks ago it was also a pretty good film, and that I'll talk about once it comes out. But the Mauritanian, it's a movie that I've been meaning to see for a long time, and it was nice to actually now see it, because I've been waiting a while to do so, and it's good. It's fascinating, and it's tragic that it is a real life story, that it is a true story. I mean, it's horrific, these things that are going on in the world. It's unfathomable to some degree too. But these kind of movies certainly shine light on these tragic events, which is a good thing.
In a cool way, in a good way.
Yeah,
to kind of show it from both perspectives of the person who's actually been there and the person learning of it, and trying to wrap their head around that.
For sure. To finish it up, the most random actor in this was Zachary Levi. Why was he in this movie for like 3 scenes?
Sure. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't want to dunk on him or diss him or whatever the kids say, but he's put on some weight, which I was kind of surprised, because I thought he was like quite buff now from whatchamacallit? Shazam.
Right, but what do you mean he put on some weight in the Mauritanian?
Yeah.
No, he's still buff. No?
Yeah, but I guess. But he just looks so much older all of a sudden.
They're actually shooting the second one right now, so maybe he was in preparation for that and sort of talking up at the... I don't know, man.
Maybe.
But it was just weird. Nothing against him. I like him. It just felt like he's
like a nice guy.
He's now like with Shazam, like a big star now, and he's not now like reverting back to very, very small roles. But I mean, gotta do what you gotta do. What's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is something that I was looking forward to, but I then completely forgot that it already came out, which is Luca, the new Pixar movie that came out on Disney Plus. None of that not limited release, but premium release where you gotta pay extra. And it's fucking Pixar, and it was fucking adorable. I think you watched it as well, right?
Yes.
And it's a perfect movie for the summer. It's, if you haven't seen the trailer or posters, it's about a boy who is kind of a merman or a fish guy living in the ocean, and apparently his species is able to walk on land and then turn to humans. But every time he gets wet, he reverts back to being a fish. And him and a friend take the leap and go to land and explore the world to kind of get away from the parents and have a summer adventure. And it's so fucking cute and well made. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of summer in general.
Great sentence.
I can't take the heat, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a winter guy all the way. But that movie just makes you want to go to Italy and, I don't know, eat some amazing looking pasta and go for a swim. And it just looks so idyllic, so perfectly cute,
Yeah.
But once again, it's got this very similar thing that Raya didn't. I assume now you know what I meant, of very cartoony characters here especially, but the background and the ocean, so realistic. It's uncanny,
But you pointed that out as a bad thing with Raya, right?
I did, and now I'm kind of on the fence, because it kind of irritated me at times, but then again, it just made me want to be at the beach. It just looked so great and cute.
Right.
God.
Should we run a little clip of it before we dive into it deeper?
Yes, please.
Hey! Leave them alone! Hop on.
Go start a club for losers!
My name is Julia Marcavaldo. We underdogs have to look out for each other.
What's under the dogs?
This is my dad.
What do you think he kills with those?
Anything that swims.
Huh? Your life is so much cooler than mine. There's a million things things you think you can't do. All you need is a chance to try.
Something's fishy with you two.
This is too dangerous. They'll see us.
I know your problem. You got a Bruno in your head.
A Bruno.
Say, Silenzio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Louder. Silenzio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Silenzio Bruno.
Silencio Bruno.
Can you still hear him?
Nope, just you.
Good. Now hang on.
Silencio Bruno.
Yeah, this was Luca, a very cute trailer that I actually watched. Once again, the minimal amount of preparation that I did. Once again. Yeah, it's about them fighting a bully, about meeting some nice people, and of course there's also a struggle. And the only thing bad thing that I have to say about this movie is the ending, which is very nice, but it was just a bit too cute because the story didn't have like that higher stakes as, for example, Soul, where it's about actual death.
Sure.
But the ending then kind of, want to turn on the waterworks and make you cry, like you people kind of get emotional with Pixar movies. But I didn't feel teary as much because I thought it was quite unnecessary. I think they could have just done a nice, cute little ending without that much drama. But it still works.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I did not love this movie.
Okay.
And not even like, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and that's going to sound like I'm dissing your pick, which I'm definitely not doing. But
good.
I just feel like this is more of a movie made for kids. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just, I
mean, more than a Mauritanian, I'm sure. Here, Tommy, we're going out for a couple of hours. Watch it.
No, but it feels once again, when I say like, I feel like I'm too old for these kind of movies now.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like I'm saying you shouldn't, right?
I know, I feel like a fucking kid here. I mean, I think I've overplayed my card with loving princess movies. I think I don't even love them as much as I pretend to. Or not pretend to, but
it's all a facade.
Seem like I do on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, no, but the great thing about Pixar movies is they make movies for kids that are also super enjoyable for adults.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing here, but I just feel like this was even more like a kid's movie than other Pixar movies. I enjoyed it. I thought it was super well paced as well. I think that's the second time I said super, and I've never said the word in the previous 72 episodes, but we'll go with it. Because it's only like 1 hour, it's like 90 minutes long, right? 95 minutes long? Something like that.
Yeah, and I think like 10 minutes of that are the credits.
Yeah, with a weird after credit scene, by the way. Did you realize that Sacha Baron Cohen was a voice actor?
Immediately.
Oh, I did not realize that at all.
As immediately when I heard it, it's like, dude, Borat is in this.
But obviously, I mean, the main voices, we get Jacob Tremblay.
Once again, that
yep.
kid is everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, should do a movie with Fred Heckinger. No, but Jacob, I like Jacob Tremblay a lot. Obviously, Room, that's one of the greatest first movies ever for him, I would think.
Yeah,
he was just fantastic in that movie, and I'm interested in seeing where his career is going to go. I feel like that guy's been the same age for about 5 years now.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean, most people I think said the same thing with Haley Joel Osment.
Right,
the kid actor of the time. I mean, I think it's always tough to make that jump from kid actor to professional actor, even if you want to continue.
Right.
It takes a lot out of you at that age.
Haley Joel Osment made it to The Boys.
All right.
Right. A small part.
His first job in 20 years.
Yeah. I don't think he wants to be an actor anymore, but that's a different story. And we also got Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yeah.
From It as young Eddie.
Some great interview scenes. I watched an honest trailer about Luca. They showed some clips of him in interviews. That kid is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in Shazam to bring everything full circle with
there's even a cool clip with him and Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
In an interview. I mean, I am calling him a kid. I think I looked this up before we started. He's 18, I think. So
yeah, he was born in 2003, and that's already 18 nowadays.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Emma Berman as Julia. I think that's one of her first ever roles. and because I kept.
I didn't know her.
Yeah, I tried to figure out who that voice was, but I think this is one of her first movies, so I couldn't couldn't figure that out. And other big names: Maya Rudolph as the mother,
as the mom, once again.
Yeah. And just a couple other ones, but that's just the main. Jim Gaffigan as who was Lorenzo again? That's
Is that anybody big?
Yeah, I think so. I'm. That's my brain. Who's Lorenzo again?
I don't know who voice acts him. I don't know.
God, that's gonna bother me.
I'm gonna look it up.
Lorenzo. Who was Lorenzo?
What character? Who
the character. No, okay.
Who
was Lorenzo?
Jim Gaffigan. Lorenzo, it's his dad. Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Oh, that's Maya Rudolph's husband.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was Lorenzo. Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought Lorenzo for a second was the bully.
Right. No, right. That was a good character. I like that character.
Yeah. Okay, he doesn't even have a picture. Saverina Raimondo.
Yeah.
I mean, one funny thing they even said in the honest trailers. I mean, it seems like somebody in Pixar's got a stake in the Vespa company.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm so glad you bring this up. What was that all about?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the director maybe has a special connection with that. Maybe had the same dream when he was a kid and just thought it was funny.
They financed the movie, I'm telling you.
Probably, because the big theme of this movie is the two kids wanting to get away to gain freedom, and they know nothing of the human world and what human objects are, but they have a poster of a Vespa, and it kind of says like the vehicle of freedom or something along that line.
Right.
And they dream of a Vespa, and that's the main theme of this movie, like trying to get one.
Right.
I mean, sure. Maybe it's just because it's such an Italian stereotype. I mean, they play a lot with Italian stereotypes, like Julia always saying Santa Mozzarella, Santa Ricotta.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm glad that this movie was written and directed by an Italian dude, because otherwise we might run into some problems. Yeah. But what I also thought was weird was just, I mean, you got that sort of Vespa kind of propaganda thing there with the
propaganda.
But I'm saying this because they're trying to make school grade too. Like, what are we? That's what I'm saying. This is such a movie. This is directly aimed towards kids, where it's literally like he can't wait to go to school. My God, I just cannot wait to go to school. Please,
think it's
Mom,
also
can I go to school? I mean, come on now.
But the other kid is like on the other side, and he just wants to go straight to a job, I guess. So
no, for sure,
you got that option.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
I mean, one of the great sentences of this movie, which you even said before we started, which kind of tipped me off that you saw this movie, was Silenzio Bruno, which is also going to be in the clip I'm going to put in.
Yeah. That is a great little thing. And you know what I'm going to bring up? It's going to be, I just thought of this now. But do you remember the greatest movie we've ever discussed in one of our earlier specials, which was We Bought a Zoo, where it's Matt Damon going, courage. 10 seconds of courage. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where it tells his son, you need 10 seconds of courage, and you count down, and then you go for it. And that's kind of like Silenzio Bruno, right? It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, you kind of shut up your own inner voices and just do it.
And I felt like I'm going to do that with After It's Our We Bought a Zoo. I felt like I'm going to adapt that.
Did you?
I feel like I did. Yeah. So I'm now like, I don't need Bruno in my head now. You know what I mean? I already have Matt Damon telling me what to do.
Good for you, dude.
Thank you.
That's very inspirational.
Well, I'm not saying that it led to anything great, but I'm just doing every kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, there was one moment where I had goosebumps, and that's about it. Well, I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Don't want to spoil it. It involved rain and someone
and a hill.
Right. Yeah, rain and a hill. I thought that was a very, very good scene.
Rainn Wilson and Henry Hill. I don't know.
Yeah.
Henry Hill is a guy from Goodfellas. I don't know why I thought of him.
Yeah, interesting. You put Dwight Schrute and Henry Hill together. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun movie. It's fucking Pixar. What can you say? But it's, I think, just a cool movie to bring out in the summer. And if you have a subscription, check it out. It's not a must. Like, I don't know, The Incredibles, which is like the Pixar movie.
Right.
But I think it's still enjoyable for all ages. But you're right. It's more wacky and lighthearted than some of the other movies made by Pixar, like, I don't know, Toy Story 3, which gives you existential anxiety.
Right. But as you said before, I completely agree with the ending being maybe just rushed and just like out of place.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like because the parents they're tracking down Luca when he's a human,
right?
They're trying to track him down, and then in the last like 5 minutes, it's just like, what have we been doing for the last 80 minutes? That's just all thrown out of the window, basically.
Yeah, I think they could have made this a bit longer, made a bit of more interaction with him and his parents to kind of give more context to the whole ending.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I mean, also one of the things, I don't want to drag this episode out too long, but with the dad of Julia just having his arm missing, and there's just a very mundane explanation for that, and that's that. It never comes up.
I did like his character though.
Yeah, he was cool, and God, that pasta looked amazing. I mean, I eat like pasta like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make some after we finish recording.
Great.
Pasta alla norma. I'm so excited.
Cook something good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's shout out the director and writer Enrico Casarosa, right? Who was also involved. Oh, thank you. He was in the art department for Coco, and he was an additional crew member for Incredibles 2, but he's now got his shot as a writer director of Luca.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
I think that movie kind of went under a lot of people's radar.
Which one?
I mean, also Luca. Also by not coming out in cinemas as well, which is funny. Right. That it wouldn't do it at least at the same time, but worth checking out.
Well, it's kind of like Soul, right? I mean, Soul hit during a different time, right?
Yeah, had fewer options, I guess. Right. But there was still more media and publicity out there for that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe because they had already publicity before the whole pandemic started.
Maybe. But I also feel like Soul is going to be a much more successful movie after a couple of years than Luca will end up being. But yeah, because also Soul is more like aimed towards the a wider audience.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I'd rather rewatch Luca.
Really?
Yeah.
You enjoyed Luca more than Soul?
I didn't enjoy it more necessarily, but I think it's the better movie to rewatch because I think once you heard the message of Soul, it really hits you. But I think it's not as good the second time. And with Luca, it's just a fun movie that you can watch once a year in the summer, for example.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're right on time now. Are we going to play a game now, or is that it?
I mean, I got some shit to do on the weekend, so it's kind of here.
Fair enough. No, because I mean, yeah. No, fair enough. We'll do this soon again. We'll play another round. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. Maybe an episode where we got less to talk about. Maybe next week. I don't know what else I'm gonna watch till next week. So
yeah, there's one big Amazon Prime release that is very polarizing. I might as well say it. The Tomorrow War, the Chris Pratt movie.
Right. Is that already out?
That's already out, yeah.
It didn't interest me at all.
It's definitely not for you.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued by it because I've heard. By the way, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So yeah. But I will try and fit it into my schedule. You know.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, now you got more time, right?
Yeah. I mean, not really, but a bit more. Yeah. Yeah. But that's it. Let's wrap this up. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I mean, this is a good episode. Couple of good things to recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing to go out to the cinemas, and one thing to watch from the comfort of your own home.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back next week with another regular episode. By the way, we still have to talk about the next special.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, so if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments. And,
please.
That's it from me. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. It's been a blast as always. It's good to be back with another regular episode. You can listen to us on pretty much anywhere where you get your podcasts, be it Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, etc. Check us out at Best Thing Radio on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out the thumbnail that Flo is going to make for this episode. Once again, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as a thumbnail. Yeah, it's been fun. Consider dropping a like, subscribe. Have a great day. Maybe watch Luca make some pasta. It's summer. Enjoy. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's great. I love it. Bye-bye.